is not a book for young children to watch. It will frighten them. Parents, please. And kids, if you're home alone, do yourself, do me a favor, and please change the channel. Mothers on the run. Desperate women who go underground with their children to protect those kids from alleged sexual or other physical abuse by their own fathers. It's an awful story, but it's not a new story. You've seen it chronicled here on this program and elsewhere. Well, these mothers on the run are here for a different reason. They're running, they and their children, from something even more terrifying, something even more sickening than sodomy. You see, these people are running from the devil.
My father's in a satanic cult, and the only people who will believe me is this lady Faye, and they cut off the legs, the arms, the head, to get the eyes, the lungs, they got the heart.
How many babies did you say they had that night?
They only had one that I had to kill.
Mm-hmm.
And then they made me skin it. And then after that, they made me get on the table, and then they sodomized me.
Mm-hmm. And
then they peed on me.
I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to kill anybody. Or hurt anybody.
All 5 of these ladies, from widely separated parts of North America, will allege today that their children were put through satanic rituals by their fathers and by other adults. Ceremonies that allegedly range from merely horrible to absolutely unspeakable. Bernadette is here with her 3 youngest kids. She and they have been on the run for almost a year and a half now. Her 2 oldest children are not with her today because they are currently institutionalized, badly damaged after allegedly being forced to participate in bloody animal sacrifices and things that are much, much worse than that. Alicia is here with her 4-year-old boy, Dustin. They're here to tell another hair-raising story of violent ritual abuse. Veronica, who's here with her 2 daughters, Amber, who is 9 years old, and Ashley, who is 5, have been on the run for 3 months now. They'll tell us a story that includes cults and kidnappings and murder. Diane, who is here with her 6-year-old boy, we'll call him Pete, was once an Ohio police officer. She thought she was running from a child molester when she left her husband or ex-husband. Once on the road, her son Pete told Diane an even more horrible story. We'll hear it today. Andrea and her 9-year-old son are running from a similar nightmare, this time in Canada, again involving terrifying and sadistic violence. Along with their mothers and children on the run, we are also joined by their friend and ally, Faye Yeager. Faye, as you may know, is the woman who unofficially coordinates the 20th century version of the Underground Railroad. Now, a note before we begin this program. Again, this is not a show for kids to watch. Please, don't watch it, kids. Parents, please exercise your parental discretion. This is going to be, as is obvious by now, an hour filled with horror stories, not just from our main panelists, but this entire section of the audience is also involved. Now, indeed, once the word got out that we were planning a show on this topic, we could literally have filled our entire audience with parents and children running from alleged satanic abuse. Are their stories true? We have no way of knowing. But as you're about to see, the allegations are certainly consistent, and they are terrible enough to justify a full-blown congressional investigation to find out once and for all the extent of this satanic ritual abuse and the number of children in this and other countries who are actually being harmed by it. Bernadette, let's start with you. I know Carrie, your 2-year-old, wants to sing a song here. Kids don't know from television. Your little baby was crying before. You have 5 children.
Yes, I do.
Now, I mentioned that the 2 eldest are institutionalized. Where exactly is Peter?
He's in Georgia, in a hospital.
In a psychiatric hospital?
Yes.
And the other girl, is her name Christine?
Yes. She's in another hospital. They're separated.
No, I said the kids are separated. Okay. So your 11-year-old and your 9-year-old, your boy and your girl are separated. I started by saying we have no way of knowing whether or not these stories that you're about to hear are true. Let me read, however, notes received by the treating doctors down in the state of Georgia. First, in relationship to Peter, Bernadette's 11-year-old. It is clear that Peter is suffering from many symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder resulting from emotional, physical, and possibly sexual abuse at the hands of his father and other members of a satanic cult. His story, as well as his effect and other symptomology, make it clear that Peter has participated in rituals which included smearing of feces, dismemberment, murder, kidnapping, and other forms of emotional trauma, including possibly sexual molestation. This is relating now to Christine. After an assessment was done here at the hospital, she was admitted to determine the amount of impairment she experiences from her alleged sexual and ritualistic abuse from her biological father. It is clear from the onset that this youngster has experienced severe trauma. She's expressed fear of her father knowing her whereabouts, as she thinks he will harm her for telling about the abuses. She's been very consistent with her stories of sexual abuse and satanic worship, including human sacrifice. Can this be true? Through her involvement with her father. Okay, Bernadette. Tell me... Okay, Carrie will go backstage for a while. How did you find out that your husband was allegedly involved in this devil worship, this satanic abuse?
And back in, we've been in hiding for 1.5 years, and we thought we were found. And so we came to Faye Yeager for help, came cross country. She took the kids out, talked to them for a couple hours, and came back. She told me she had a terrible story to tell me. And she began to tell me about the cult and the things that had happened with my children.
Didn't you have any inkling that something awful was going on? And you must have. Why else did you go on the run?
I was on the run because of what I thought was sexual abuse. You know, I had been working with that since 1984 through the courts. I thought that maybe they had seen animals killed, but not in a, you know, I didn't know anything about a cult. So we were running from that. The court had ordered unsupervised visitation with the father, and things began to get worse. So the father that you allege, who you allege was guilty of abusing the children, the court allowed him unsupervised visits with the kids? Yes.
And that's why you ran? That's why we ran. You've been on the road now 16 months, is it? Yes. On the run? Mm-hmm. How do you live? Where do you go? Well, right now we have since gone above ground. And we have an apartment, and the kids are in the hospital, and my husband has a job. Your new husband? Yes. Is your ex still pursuing you and the children? He has said that he was going to go and get custody, but as far as I know, at this point, he hasn't done any of that. The letters I read from the 2 institutions in Georgia, and note also that the kids are separated. These are 2 different doctors who are making these analyses. What exactly happened in your family? Can this be true? Yes, it is true. I don't have a doubt. Both doctors, both hospitals, and my younger children are seeing a third person. And all these professionals are telling me, yes, this did happen. And it fits in with things that have happened in the past. List some of the things that you allege happened to your kids. They've seen murder. They've seen human sacrifice of babies as well as adults. They've been gang raped and then defecated and peed on. They've talked about, my daughter has talked about having to kill a cat and drink the blood. They've talked about cannibalism. The list goes on, about my younger ones being abused, the older children having to abuse the younger ones, my younger ones being put in crates and cages. You must know, as a reasonable and intelligent woman, Bernadette, that the stories that you're telling us sound absolutely incredible and unbelievable.
Mm-hmm. They did to me at first, too. Except it fit in with my physical, the way I was feeling, the things that have been coming through the years from my children, their actions. And Carrie is 2 years old. In the beginning of July, she was nursing once or twice a day. Now she is a totally nursed baby, will not eat. She will not eat. Paul, Carrie, they will not go near strangers. They are very frightened. They cry. They're very aggressive. They go around the house saying, head open, kill, head open, kill, all day long. Where did it come from? It didn't come from us. They don't watch violent TV. You know, I don't let my kids watch the Ghostbusters because I thought it was too violent or scary. All the pieces came together. In 1986, my son made a tape saying that his daddy made him do things to other little children and that he didn't want to do it, but he had to. And now all these things are just fitting into place. I mean, they can't describe things that happen to them unless they've been through it. They can't draw the pictures of rituals. A 4-year-old can't tell you about a man all dressed in red and cutting a baby's head off and putting it in a red bag and dropping it in the lake. They can't tell you these things.
We don't know if these stories are literally true. We know again that the allegations that you're going to hear are incredibly consistent. They are widespread. I say again, we could have filled this audience with 3 or 4 score of parents on the run from alleged satanic or ritual abuse. Believe whatever you feel capable of believing. Reject whatever you feel is too horrible to be true. The fact is that these women are here, they are making these allegations, and we'll say until we're blue in the face that this deserves a full-blown congressional investigation. Mothers running from the devil, our focus. We'll be back with more stories in 2 minutes. Stay with us, please.
If this is America and we're supposed to be free, then how come all these crimes are happening?
Women who caught their cheating husbands.
You just start investigating anything that doesn't seem right.
I remember the first time when I found out, I just couldn't stop shaking.
And the glamour boys of racing.
Everybody wants to see action and excitement. They just don't, I don't think they want to see us get hurt.
Plus parents whose children were sexually abused.
My first reaction was to go with her and confront my brother-in-law.
All on my next show.
Tomorrow morning at 10 on Channel 9.
Food makes me feel better because then I don't have to deal with the pain. It's like a friend.
1.5 years later.
Today, I don't need somebody else or something else to validate me. I feel real good about myself, and that's a real nice feeling.
The Raider Institute, 1-800-255-1818.
We'd like to remind workers hurt on the job that as far as we're concerned, the free legal consultation is still alive and well. If you've been hurt, we may ask you to bring in any letters you've received from work or the insurance company. We may ask you to come in with any medical information you've collected. But one thing we won't be asking you to bring along is your checkbook. Harvey L. Wallner and Associates. We help accident victims. Call 312-JUSTICE.
At DeVry, computer students work on projects with real-life applications. DeVry students computerized a local disaster support system.
To get them help when they need it fast.
Did a great job.
At DeVry, you get a degree plus real-life experience.
That's an education for success.
Call now, 1-800-247-7800. DeVry, we're serious about success.
Let's go right to Veronica, another of our moms here who is allegedly running from the devil. In your case, Veronica, when did you notice that something was horribly wrong in your house?
In regards to sexual abuse, about 8 years ago.
When did you go on the lam, so to speak? When did you run?
Went on a run about 3 months ago.
What was it that the children told you, or that you discovered independently, that was so terrifying that you took the tremendous risk of going out there and becoming, in essence, a fugitive?
Well, when my oldest was 4 years old, she had told me about her father coming in her room at night and putting something in her privates, and it hurt. My youngest, right now that's young, she was about 9 months old, and she also said that he would do it to her, bring her with me. You'll have to excuse me with one thing if I sound a little goofy or whatever when I talk. I was being drugged for over 2 years. So it takes me a minute or two to try to think, to get it straight. Plus it's a scary thing for the children too. What made me go on the run is the fact that I went to the judge, I went to my attorney. Actually, I wasn't represented with an attorney this time, but I had had an attorney in the past, and they would not help or do anything for my children. They wouldn't talk to them. The judge would not talk to the children. The police department, they took reports. They wouldn't do anything with the reports. Child Protective Services. I even went as far as putting my children in foster care to protect them from their father. And the caseworker, the types of things that she would do at that time would tell me, oh, I couldn't tell my children I was their mother because I caused too much stress for them. Later on, I find out now this caseworker, or at least one of the caseworkers, not necessarily the one that told me this, but that I couldn't tell my children I was their mother, she was involved with sexual acts with them.
Let me talk to Amber. You're how old, honey?
9.
Your mommy is saying some things about some bad things that happened. Do you remember bad things that happened?
Yes.
Do you think that you could tell us, like, can you tell us one thing?
Yes. Like when my dad would come in the middle of the night and put his private in me.
Does Amber know anything about the ritual stuff? And she,
Yes.
Did he ever dress up in a costume, or did they? Tell me.
Sometimes they dress up in, like, capes, like things. And they'd pray to the devil, and they'd kill children.
Now, did you ever see anything bad like that?
Yes.
What?
Well, they'd hurt the children, and then they'd hurt them sexually, and then they'd kill the children.
Okay, I gotta say, again, we have no idea whether or not Amber, or Ashley rather, Amber, that's Ashley. All these names are made up names. Is telling what literally happened, or, whether, I don't know. Listen, the frustration is that the stories are so horrible, and again, so widespread. What's true, what's not true, the father's not here to defend himself. Maybe what really happened is totally different. But we must at least be incredibly upset and disturbed that the allegations are so widespread. Frightened now of being caught?
Oh, yeah.
How do you live?
How do I live? Well, the way that we started off one day at a time. Fortunately, people and other, figures helped us. I didn't tell them anything about the ritualistic at that time, but about the abuse, sexual abuse they'd gone through, I told them that. And we were fortunate to get some help. it got to the point to where, because of the fact that I had taken my children, that made me be wanted and basically being a fugitive, just because I'm trying to protect them. But people that are in the hierarchy of, you know, positions to help people, they can't help us because it makes them liable and they can get into trouble. So then I talked to Faye, and that's where I started getting
Faye Yeager, who we'll be speaking with in just a moment. Amber, do you remember anything about a snake in the cage? Okay. Some of the of that, and they will. Okay, Faye Yeager. Faye, when you started helping in your clandestine fashion, women running from allegedly abusive husbands, you created a hornet's nest for yourself. I suspect that those were the good old days compared to this story.
Yes. When we first started hiding these children, it was from sexual abuse. The first couple cases that I got, I thought it was, you know, just weirdos and just happened in Texas. And then the next case came from California, and I thought, well, it just happens in California and in Texas, you know. And then the next thing you know, they started popping up everywhere. And as you would expect, we would get the worst cases throughout the country, you know, and we would only take cases where children have been tortured and are really badly abused, because it's very obvious. These children show all the signs and the symptoms of abused children. They have nightmares. They act these things out. Sometimes you can be in a room with one of these kids and they'll think you're one of them and literally turn from you and try to get away from you. I've had them try to kill me.
Simple question. Do you believe them?
Yes, I do believe them. I personally see too many of these kids from across country, from out of the country. They couldn't possibly be making up these stories because they match. They're telling the same thing.
Full-blown congressional investigation. Mothers running from the devil. I'll focus. We'll be right back.
They just went, like they're like talking to their idols. What idol is it? I think they pray to the devil.
They're showing up all over America. Touch of Scent 2, the perfect air freshener. It's easy to use. Just touch the top and it goes to work, making everything smell fresher and cleaner.
Touch of Scent 2 is very economical because it doesn't just sit there wasting away. You use it only when you need it. Wonderful fragrances. Try Touch of Scent 2 this week.
Pond's. In my family, we've always used it. Now Pond's has made its first water rinsable cold cream. It removes the dirt soap leaves behind. Pond's water rinsable cleanser cleans like no soap can.
Why does a Q-Tip's cotton swab have 50% more pure cotton at the tip than any other swab? For softness, safety, and trust. Q-Tips, a swab by any other name is not the same.
For free tickets to Geraldo, please write Geraldo, Times Square Station, Post Office Box 684, New York, New York, 10108. Please send a self-addressed stamped envelope or call 212-265-1283.
Presenting Jones Golden Brown Microwave Sausage. It has everything you ever wanted in a sausage. No stove, no pan, no turning, no waiting, and no mess. Tender, juicy Jones Golden Brown Microwave Sausage. Great pan-fried taste and nothing else.
Discover the place where you'll always find more. It's Handy Andy, your home improvement superstore.
You'll find big savings on thousands of items store-wide. Safety and convenience is a snap with Genie's maintenance-free track drive garage door opener, just $149.99. Plus, this Ole Cassini travel bag is free, a second half price. Look for this display and enter to win a Caribbean cruise.
With Handy Andy, you've got it made. Share the warmth, share the glow. There's no soup like Progresso. Welcome home, say hello. There's no soup like Progresso.
When you
you taste Progresso, you know it. There's no soup quite like it. Progresso has that sunny Italian flavor, a special goodness all its own.
There's no soup like Progresso.
This is Fish in a Flash from Cub Foods. It's shipped overnight by Emery Worldwide directly to Cub Foods. It's kept fresh and never frozen. Now this is most stores' idea of fresh fish. It's frozen, then shipped to the supermarket where it's defrosted and labeled fresh. So which store is handing you a line? Federally inspected Fish in a Flash from Cub Foods. And you thought we only offered low prices.
If you're shopping for new kitchen cabinets or bathroom vanities, let us do the shopping for you. Here are the facts. Cabinet Wholesalers regularly gives you 66% off list price. We'll beat any current written quote on comparable style or quality of cabinet. And if you buy your cabinets today, you won't make a payment for 6 months. With over 20 Chicagoland locations and more to come, we can give you the best deal going every day. Dial dollars for the location nearest you, because that's what you'll save at Cabinet Wholesalers.
Okay, we're back. The focus, Mothers Running from the Devil. I said at the top of this program, let me say again in the strongest terms, this is not a program for kids to watch. Young children will be frightened and confused by it, as the people involved are frightened and confused. We urge parental discretion. Kids, please change the station. Jim Bob, show me the first of our pictures here, the one that Amber drew. Now, what often happens is the kids in therapy or when being questioned later by doctors draw their own pictures, their versions of what they saw. Amber, do you want to tell me what this is?
Well, that's my dad.
It's your dad on the right. Go ahead.
And then, that's Dean Wright, Ruth, my foster mom.
Now, all these names, we don't know if these people are actually involved. This is Amber telling us her version of the story. Go ahead, honey. What's this little blonde girl with that thing around her? What is that?
That's a whole bunch of candles.
Who is that person?
That's, Tony.
Who is Tony?
Tony's one of the children that got killed.
And this is like a ceremony when they killed this baby?
Yes.
Veronica, does she do many of these drawings?
She's done quite a few drawings.
Okay, there are other drawings here. Let me... Margaret Pivandi, will you stand, please? Here, come right here. Now, Margaret, for how long were you on the run?
Well, I left my husband in January 1998. I went back to my home in Oklahoma. He had abused the children up in New Jersey. He's a priest in New Jersey here, up north. And I found some men around the house late at night, so I took off because I thought he was going to kidnap the children. I'd been home about a year, and I went on the run in January of this year, and I was arrested by the FBI in May.
And how many children?
I have 3 little girls.
Okay, 3 little girls. Where are they now?
Their names?
Where are they?
Oh, they're in foster care in New Jersey right now.
Okay. Here's a picture drawn by one of Margaret's daughters. Jim Bob's the next ESS. It's Dad with what appear to be bloody fingernails.
Uh-huh. Yes, this is a little girl he killed in Barnegat, New Jersey, and she was just going through the stages of puberty. And the law enforcement officials there, I wrote letters to the police while I was underground. I wrote letters to the FBI. I've been ignored and been told I brainwashed my children and that I'm a liar.
And your kids now are in foster care?
Yes, they're in foster care, and their father does see them, and he has, at this point, begun to terrorize them. And
I want to stop. I want to stop. That the picture of your 3 girls?
Yes, that's my 3 daughters, Sheila, Sheba, and Sheena.
I want to say again, thanks, Marcus. I want to say again, the father is not here to give his side of the story. His version may be completely different. Andrea, from Canada. Does this go on in Canada?
Yes, it does.
Now, do you say, where is John, your boy? Hi, John. Did you ever see your daddy do anything bad?
Yes.
Can you tell me what?
He's killed people and he's done bad touch to me.
What does that mean?
When he put his penis in my mouth.
Did you ever see, you know the question I asked Amber, who's your same age, I asked her if she ever saw anything that looked like a devil ceremony or anything like that. Did you?
Snake?
Well, what did you see?
They put a snake on me.
What do you mean?
Like, they put a snake right here.
Who's they?
Nick, my dad.
Did any other grown-ups, were they ever with him too?
Mm-hmm.
Did they have any clothes on, any special clothes? What did they look like?
Black, they just had like a black t-shirt that was long and it had rips at the bottom.
So, Andrea, you have been on the run from Canada.
Yes,
And how long have you been on the run now?
about 7 weeks.
Are you frightened that you'll be caught, as Margaret was?
Yes, of course I'm frightened. This is a really hair-raising experience. I thought we were fleeing from sexual abuse. I contacted Miss Yeager, and she had interviewed Matthew, and within a very short period of time, he said he had been made to kill children and that he had also poisoned me with medication that
Oh, my God.
his dad had given to him, which was put in my coffee.
Take another break.
Mommy put his poop on me and then he made me drink blood.
DeVry teachers get involved.
I like to personally go around to each and every one of my students and give them a hand in one way or another. Textbooks alone cannot do it. It's the experience that the teachers bring from our programs are better equipped to face the real world.
Learn from teachers that understand and care. Call now, 1-800-247-7800. DeVry, we're serious about success.
Now, learn to read with Hooked on Phonics. Because Hooked on Phonics is set to music, the right and left brain work together with dramatic reading results. After learning one 18-minute lesson, it's possible to read Book 1, over 120 pages. So for the beginner or anyone needing reading help, get Hooked on Phonics and learn to read. Call 1-800-ABCDEFG, 1-800-ABCDEFG.
This is the 30-minute workout, the most advanced variable resistance training program ever invented. An hour-and-a-half workout in 30 minutes. And you can only find it at one place, Chicago Health Club.
The 30-minute workout and Chicago Health Club. For just $13 a month, it's all you need. Some restrictions apply.
You want to know why I work out? Because it's good to me.
Hi, I'm Doug Llewellyn for the law firm of Balkin & Doran. Did you know that under workers' compensation, if you're injured on the job, you're entitled to more than weekly benefits and payment of your medical bills? It's true. Call Balkin & Doran. They'll review your claim and help you receive everything you're entitled to under the law. So if you've been injured, get help from the law firm that's been through it before. Call Balkin & Doran now at 1-800-INJURED.
Hello, Remco.
Need a new stereo now? Rent to own from your friends at Rimco. You never need lots of cash or even credit. Just call, and it's there.
the program Mothers on the Run, running from the devil, but we also have a dad here. Took a shot of Ben, sitting here in the second row. Ben Jones, we'll call him, and his 4 boys. Now, before we get to meet them, let me just quickly show you some of the drawings that his boys have done. The first one, go ahead, hit it, Jim Bob, is done by his 7-year-old. Josh had to put his finger up Courtney. And it goes next. Okay, what's that? Dante, is that what that says? And next. Okay, bone, liver, blood, kitty. I guess that means kitty cat. Next. Maybe the next one. Okay, here's someone obviously strapped and bleeding. All right, that's enough. Ben, what the hell's been going on with the kids?
According to my children, they've been both sexually abused, physically abused, and have participated in what they call a festival, and where the children have actually, my boys have actually killed a few children, kidnapped kids, and have witnessed the most disgusting things that I could possibly even imagine them ever going through.
Now, you know, as well as anyone sitting here in the studio, that people are not going to believe the outrageous allegation that children have actually killed. Which of the boys do you say was involved?
I do know the older 2.
Do you mind if I speak to the boys? Okay, you guys come on out. It'll be easier right now. Here, come sit right here with me. That's it. Okay, sit right there, partner. Now, your daddy says that something awful happened and that you saw it or you were part of it. Do you remember that?
Yes.
You tell me in your own words.
Well, we had to play sick games, like pick the butt, suck the, chase the, and other ones I can't remember.
Did you ever hurt anybody or see any grown-ups hurt anybody, any children?
Yes.
What? Tell me.
We've killed a 3 or 4-year-old.
Who? How? How did you do that?
We stabbed it a lot.
Stand up there. Where, how, why, who was doing it, what?
The boys have told me that their mother and their mother's boyfriend. They've also mentioned 2 doctors.
Now, you know that one possible explanation, and the one that we heard from Margaret, is that you are engaged in a custody battle with your ex-wife over who gets possession of these children. Could it be, Ben, I'm not accusing you, but could it be that this story is the result of your desire to accumulate ammunition to use against your ex so you could keep these children?
Not at all. Not at all. The custody suit, which was started quite a while ago, was started because of the physical and sexual abuse. It's in the documents. It's been documented. We've talked with the children.
What proof is there that the children have been abused?
We have a psychiatrist report that they've been sexually abused. We have a social worker that interviewed them that says the same thing. Talked about the masturbation that was going on. We have a doctor that said there's definitely something wrong inside that home. We have one child who is not eating at all. He's 7 years old.
Which one is he?
Dan.
Yeah, stand up, partner. Yeah, stand right up there. Stand on your chair. Let's see you. Can you take your hat off? Why is he so thin?
He's told me that they forced him to drink blood. eat raw liver from a body.
I can sit down. Okay, sit down. Take a break. Take a break.
They made her take off her clothes, and then they tied her up to this table that I showed you. And then Jay took off his clothes, and then he got on top of Jennifer.
Next on the Midday News.
Good morning, I'm Robert Jordan. 4 hungry children were found abandoned at a Southside school today. Shots fired in Panama may signal an attempt to overthrow General Manuel Noriega. Frustrated East German refugees stormed the West German embassy in search of freedom. And a new enemy in the drug war, a form of heroin that kills the user. The Cubs are ready to wage an attack on San Francisco. We'll have a live report. These stories and much more coming up on the Midday News at noon.
Imagine getting a brand new car for half price or a brand new house for half price. You'd grab it, wouldn't you? Well, right now at New York Carpet World, you can carpet your house for half price. That's right. Carpet padding installation, all of it half off. We've slashed prices on hundreds of popular carpets, every one half off. With any carpet you choose, padding's half off and labor's half off. Carpet your house for half price. Carpet, pad, and labor. All half off through Wednesday at New York Carpet World.
Betty feels better when she looks better. She takes care of herself to stay that way. She exercises, watches what she eats. One day she noticed some unsightly veins on her legs, nothing major. Then she heard about professional health care specialists. They have a safe one-day procedure that can eliminate spider veins or varicose veins. She made an appointment and was in and out in one day. She feels great.
Call professional healthcare specialists today for an appointment at 822-9898. Feeling great is what we're all about.
Hi! Today's show, creamed berries. Start with Reynolds' new Sure Seal freezer bag. Pour in 1 pint overripe blackberries. Take 1 Louisville Slugger and very carefully batter the berries! Voila! Creamed berries. No other freezer bag can do that.
They're the toughest plastic bags ever built. New Sure Seal bags from Reynolds. It's Reynolds Sure Seal or bust.
Next week, bashed borscht.
You're creative. You're looking for a career in art. You have the talent, but to get the job, you need the skills. We can help. We'll prepare you for a career in commercial art, photography, fashion illustration, and interior design. We can give you the skills to help you get the job. With our training and your ideas, there's no telling how far you can go. Get started on your art career in one of 8 different locations. Call 1-800-556-3030 for a free booklet. Make it happen. Call 1-800-556-3030.
We state again for the record that you're hearing one side of a very dreadful story. It is impossible for us to be human lie detectors. We can't do that. But the allegations are serious enough, obviously, that some official body with subpoena power, with the authority to bring people into court and question them under oath, must get involved in this issue. It is impossible to continue to pretend that at some level at least, satanic ritual does not exist. It exists in this country, and whether or not these stories are literally true, we don't know, but someone should find out. Alicia, why did you and Dustin leave?
At first, because of sexual abuse allegations. The child said his father was sexually abusing him. He told me that. He told the therapist that his uncle, his father's brother, was sexually abusing him. They had apparently a mutual girlfriend who the authorities continually asked me, apparently suspecting her, if she had any part, and I said no. But after we left, he began to disclose other names, and she was one of those. His father's father, who is a pediatrician, his father's mother, who is on the board of directors of her church, and various other members of his father's family.
And what do you say? Was there ritual abuse? Was there a cult?
Yes. I talked to Faye on Friday and asked her if I could come and if she would help me, and I told her of the sexual abuse, which is all I knew about at the time. She said, but that sounds like satanic to me because my father was a minister. We were apparently the ideal pick, the most the greatest reward for them to defile somebody is to defile somebody in the church who is involved in the ministry. So anyway, with other things I told her about the abuse, she said that's satanic. And 2 days later, he disclosed to me, my son did, that his father took him to a bad church where they dressed in long black dresses and danced around with candles. So that's all I knew about ritual abuse until we left. And since then has come the details.
I want to jump to Diane because I want to hear her story as well before we run out of time here. You were formerly a police officer in Ohio City.
Yes.
Until the early 80s?
Yes.
Okay, you retired for unrelated reasons. You left your husband, why?
Because he was sexually abusing my son. And
what proof, Diane, do you have of that?
I saw him. I caught him in the act. And the court would not listen to me. Child Protective Services would not take a report. Police Department would not take a report. The judge guaranteed me that he would give the father unsupervised every weekend, overnight stays, and 30 days in the summer because he was his father and had fatherly rights.
So you left?
Yes.
And you went underground. At what point did the satanic aspects of this become apparent to you?
As soon as my son was far enough away from his father that he felt safe. And I want to clarify something.
Go ahead.
Everyone has been sitting here stating that as soon as Faye Yeager questioned their children, having been forced by his father to participate in abduction of children, having been forced on one particular occasion to kill, cut up, and, quote, clean like a fish a 12-month-old girl.
Let's take a break.
Whose blood was you drinking?
I didn't even...
Where'd the blood come from?
The blood comes from a seashell.
Better get your story straight.
Dad killed an animal and got the blood from the animal.
What kind of animal did he kill?
A mole.
A mole? You mean to tell me he had a big meeting out there to kill a mole?
Or I showed Dad there was a mole.
What's wrong?
It's Mom, my friend.
Try it. Feel the difference between Denerex and Head & Shoulders. Denerex tingles. Tells me it's doing more.
Both have dandruff medicine, but Denerex adds both an extra anti-itch medicine and conditioner, too.
Goodbye, Head & Shoulders. Hello, Denerex.
Good Sense trash bags have an extra strong bottom so you can jerk them around. These bags don't. But maybe at their prices, you're being jerked around. Get Good Sense or get jerked around.
The problem with ordinary glass cleaners is how they streak and run. So the more glass you have to clean, the faster you have to clean. Unless you use Scotch Liquid Gold Foaming Glass Cleaner. It's the country's newest non-streaking glass cleaner. It lets you set the pace. And Scotch Liquid Gold Glass Cleaner has a wonderful orange scent instead of a harsh ammonia smell. Try Scotch Liquid Gold Glass Cleaner this week. It will never outrun you.
For further information on this topic, we urge you to contact the Cult Awareness Network. Their address, 2421 West Pratt Boulevard, Suite 1173, Chicago, Illinois, 60645. Their number, you see it on your screen, 312-267-7777. Call them.
Let's get back on track.
Okay, what's next?
It would be the individual ready reserve screening, sir.
What do we need to tell the reservists?
That we need to screen for readiness.
That means updating records, reviewing skills, explaining benefits.
They need to know they'll receive a day's pay for it.
That's it, sir?
Not quite. We need to tell them it's the law.
If you're a member of the Army's Individual Ready Reserve, expect a letter prior to your birth month and report for your annual one-day screening. If you haven't received your letter, phone 1-800-654-3745.
Well, Olsen.
Good news, HB.
Starting this season, we're making HBO better than ever. We'll have more first-run Hollywood movies than we've ever had. More big stars, more laughs, more explosive action, and more drama than ever. But that's not all. We've got World Championship Boxing, big-name comedy, a new original movie every month. And when subscribers add Cinemax with the most movies on pay TV, they'll have the perfect combination. Olsen, this is great! There's just one problem. What? Marketing is practically giving it away.
Marketing.
What's this about a special offer?
We're giving folks a great deal. In Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana, they call 1-800-CABLE-ME to get all the great channels of basic cable installed for just $4.95. And it's their last chance to get their first month only of HBO and Cinemax for as little as $4.95 each, plus a basic cable charge.
What do we do now?
Just call.
1-800-CABLE-ME.
Sometimes being hurt in an accident is only the beginning of your problems. You still have to provide for the kids. But how? Suddenly you can't work. What about the mortgage? And the rest of the bills? If you're hurt and decided enough is enough, maybe we can help. Harvey L. Wallner and Associates help people who've been injured in an accident. Dial 312-JUSTICE.
Faye Yeager, have you, in your dealings with the Underground Railroad and with so many women passing through and women and their children who are on the run, have you considered the awful possibility that these stories are created to score points in a custody battle?
No. First of all, most of these children, when they come to me, aren't talking and aren't telling these things. And I ask them a series of questions that open Pandora's box. I'll ask them things like, did more than one person hurt you? It doesn't implement anybody. It just answers a question. And I need that information because if you're hiding a child, you want to know who's coming after you and who's going to be looking for you. I'll ask them things like, did you ever have to hurt someone that you loved, but you were made to do it? It doesn't point the finger at anybody. It just, you know, it's yes or no. And I tell these children that they're at the end of the road. Nobody's going to help them if I don't. And if someone like me doesn't help them. And if they don't tell me the truth, forget it. I'm not going to help them. And I tell them I'm going to put them on a plane and send them back.
Where, for example, would the children come from who are used in these alleged human sacrifice?
Well, a lot of times these children are products of breeders, people in the cult that are breeding babies just for this purpose. One family that you had on the screen talked about taking, their uncle took a white van and went into Mexico and got Mexican kids, and they said it got too hot in the States, and so they had to go there.
Where? Joe, stand on the chair again. Will you stand up? Oh, okay, will you stand on the chair for me now? Where did you get the children that you told me that you helped to hurt, that you saw being hurt?
Mall.
At a shopping mall?
Yes.
How did you get them, or how did the grown-ups get them?
Well, we had to, like, say that it was safe and to come out and play and things like that, and he came.
And then what happened?
Well, I threw a tennis ball. The kid missed it, and then Courtney grabbed him and put him in his car, got me in, and we went.
Okay, thanks, Jerry. Sit down again. Here, Donna, why don't you stand? Introduce yourself.
I'm Donna Washburn. I have 4 children.
You were also on the run.
Not necessarily on the run. I was a mother in waiting for 15 months. I had not gone to court. I was waiting for the GBI or the FBI to investigate the case.
The Georgia Bureau of Investigation, the state equivalent of the FBI, right?
To believe these children and not to say all this is made up and a bunch of lies. And we tried to call in a ritual abuse expert, and they wouldn't do that. So I was waiting for something to happen in Macon, and while I was waiting, they found me.
The FBI came for you. How many of them?
There were about 40 or 50. First of all, my two little boys sleep in the bedroom in the let-out sofa, and we heard the helicopter Saturday morning at 7 o'clock. And they jumped up, and I ran in there, and they said, "Mama, they're here, they're here." There was like 40 or 50 of them outside with guns, with camouflage clothes on, like we were fugitives. They got something, and they knocked the door down, and then we were running out the back, and there was about 15 of them that held guns at me and my children, and then they took my children, handcuffed me, and took me to jail. And my little children have been so traumatized since then. They're in a mental hospital right now. But right when they got through, they gave the children right back to the daddy. We had to go to court 5 days later, and they put them in protective services. And that's where they are right now.
Take a break.
I feel like my head is going around and around.
People in the National Guard and Reserve make up over 40% of our nation's combat-ready forces. It's a job that requires them to face some very big challenges. So please, don't make their biggest challenge asking you for time off to do their training.
Mr. Aldridge, you, got a minute?
Be a hero. Give your employees the freedom to protect ours.
Where did John Marrero get the hands-on experience to advance his career at Kodak? DeVry. Call now, 1-800-247-7800. Where did Roger Sonnabend learn the technology that gave him an advantage at DuPont? DeVry. Call now, 1-800-247-7800. Where did Kevin Eicher get the education Liebert Corporation was looking for? DeVry. Call now, 1-800-247-7800. DeVry. We're serious about success.
This is Cub Foods' idea of fresh meat. This is most stores. Both look tender, both look delicious. But at Cub, we're so confident of the quality of our meat that if you're not satisfied, we'll give you double your money back. If you're not happy with the meat you get from most stores, well, it may be your tough luck. Cub Foods' double your money back guarantee. And you thought we only offered low prices.
When people call us, they're concerned. They've been hurt in an accident. They don't know what to do or what their rights are. First, we listen. Then we explain the rights to them, and we tell them how we can help. People seem relieved after we talk to them. I think it's because they know we have their best interests at heart.
Aside from our mothers on the run and Ben, who you met, a father on the run, we actually have grandparents on the run here. The little girl, Mary, who's down there, who you saw just as we went to the commercial break. Why did you feel it necessary to take your own granddaughter and run?
Well, after she been sexually molested by our own son, by her own mother.
Your own boy?
My own son. And by her own mother and by her stepfather. And even with proof that she'd been sexually molested. By then, the court placed her into the abuser's custody.
Do you feel, and we're almost out of time, do you feel that she was also ritually abused in this devil worship stuff?
After we left, and it was a mystery always in this case, and she started feeling more confident. She started talking and telling us all about the cult and the human sacrifice and the blood that she'd been drinking and all that.
Let me stop you there. This cries for a congressional investigation. This is not me saying this is true. You're hearing scores of witnesses. We could have filled this entire studio with it. Please find out the truth. Bye.
This is Chicago's very own Midday News.
Good afternoon. I'm Robert Jordan for Steve Sanders, and coming